Turnover!
What is up, coaches, cheerleaders, and Warp Spawn? We're back with Electrik Vision. We're going to be having a little bit of a chit-chat about the last season, little wrap-up. Going to be talking about some other topics too, and to make things exciting, we're going to be doing an exhibition match using the Eurobowl rule set, which is super not controversial and everyone's 100% on board for. So, how you doing today, Evie?
Yeah, I'm doing much better now. I finally feels like I've recovered from being sick last week. Yeah, just excited to be here as usual and time to have some fun.
Yeah, I think we've both had our share of illness this year, so hopefully next year's a little brighter on that front.
I hope so. I've had enough of it, to be honest. I've done sick of being sick.
Right. All right. So I guess just off the cuff, I got your roster pulled up on the screen that you made for this exhibition. Again, we're using the Eurobowl rule set here. Just kind of wanted to test it out a little bit. What was your thought process going in with the ever brain-teasing orcs?
Well, I was going to play Undead, but then obviously I had some difficulties with my Xbox setup and stuff, so I went onto my laptop setup. And then I realized I didn't have Undead, so I was like, okay, right, that's it. I'm just going to pick something nice and simple. I'm going to pick Orcs. They were tier 2, and I was like, okay, yeah, no worries. This is easy enough. Finished out the roster with no troll, and ended up being like 35k. Just not being able to spend the 35k. I didn't really want to spend it anywhere else, so I took the pack of just getting an extra 6-star player points for 30k gold. So, and basically, I did kind of the usual of slap guard everywhere, put a little bit of mighty blow and tackle around, and then I was just wondering at that point, where do I go next? I decided to go to stand firm. I was tempted by maybe a frenzy player or maybe another mighty blow and maybe an on the ball thrower, but I decided just to kind of round the better players and see if they could cause some problems.
Yeah, there's definitely some choices for some of the teams that I don't want to say auto-include, but it leans that way. Guard Biggins are just classic. If I have the choice for a packet, which obviously this one, for anyone who doesn't know, I guess I'll explain it. If you have 4 of a skill already represented on your roster, you're not able to take more. So for example, on Skaven, if you have 2 block, you can only add 2 block. Little weird, but with dwarves you'd still end up with 1,000,000 block or Norse because they're not penalized since it's baked in. You just can't take any extra. But I really like to go 2 block, 2 guard on the Biggins. A lot of people don't agree with that. I don't know, it's a flavor thing. If I can, I like to have a block mighty blow Biggin just because I like big things that punch stuff.
Yeah, I think when it comes to how you want to specialize the Biggins, I feel like it depends on what the meta is or what the micro meta is, because we recently just had the Blood Bowl 3 World Championship for 2024, and there was Wood Elves were put into like tier 2, Skaven were in tier 2, and the second I saw that, I was like, there's going to be a ton of elves and there's going to be a ton of agility, and one of the orc teams that made it the furthest was actually put block on all 4 Biggins because they realized that they probably didn't really need to guard that much because they weren't going to face many other orcs. They probably weren't going to face, they were going to maybe face some like necromantic and stuff, but you have enough strength to kind of outmaneuver the guard at times. And yeah, they I think it was Sergal, I think Spanish coach, don't quote me on that, and I apologize if I get it wrong. But yeah, Sergal made it pretty far with the orcs. You know, weirdly enough, the winner of the whole thing was an Imperial nobility team.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've had crazy. 2 tournaments I covered this year. If anybody wants to peek back on the channel, don't ask me which ones they were. But yeah, Imperial Nobility won the tournaments, and that's the beauty of a tiered system. It really brings up the low end without having to bring down the high end necessarily. But I see you've got the obligatory tackle as well. Like, that's one of the kind of in jokes with American Blood Bowl is like you always bring a tackle.
Yeah, I didn't know what you were going to pick, so I was just like, if like you pick like undead or just anything with dodge, I just realized that like I'm not really going to put wrestle anywhere, so I just felt like tackle was kind of needed just in case.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think because I went back and forth, I took double tackle one tournament and it procced one time the entire day. And then I was like, I don't need tackle, I'm going to go double wrestle instead. Because wrestle isn't tackle, but it kind of covers a couple different, bases. And I don't know. Then I fought a bunch of teams where tackle would have been nice. So now I just settle on, I always take the tackle because it can matter.
Yeah, I mean, I did a similar thing. About 4 or 5 months back, I went to Andy Davo's tournament. And like Necromantic got a really good rule sets, and they were like the only team I have painted. So I was like, oh yeah, we're just going to take Necromantic. And then I was like, oh, Necromantic have such a good rules pack here. I'm going to be spicy, and I'm going to take a Juggernaut Wolf. And then I didn't play against Necro the entire tournament. I was just like, I built this anti-Necro team and didn't face them.
Yep.
Terrible.
Yeah, guessing matchups that's something from card games. I learned you can only do so much. Like, even if you're fighting, like 70% of the field has things, it doesn't mean you're going to run into it. It's kind of annoying. That's tiebreaker points and all that jazz, but a lot of times the thing that's on top for a few rounds isn't what you expect, even if the other thing eventually catches up and overtakes it too. But
yeah, it was a bit rough. It wasn't completely useless as Juggernaut. It did let me like push around some block players, which I probably wouldn't have been able to push around. But yeah, it probably would have been better if I would have just taken Mighty Blow or just given it another block.
Well, it's nice to not turn over periodically.
Yeah, very true.
All right, I'm going to go over my roster here. I am taking Renegades. Primary reason I took Renegades was because they are tier 5 in this packet, which means they get a ton of SPP. Granted, they need it, but I like Renegades, and apparently I'm allergic to taking tier 1 teams ever. But, yeah, so we went with Minotaur and Rat Ogre because I had the points for it, and it's exciting to be able to do that. Normally don't. Normally I try to only have one Armor 9 of the big guys. But I squeezed block on both of them because I have so many points to spend. I ended up taking the same packet where I had like the awkward, I think I had an awkward 50k left over. And so I just went 2 coaches and an extra 6 SPP, so I had a total of 70 SPP to work with. So either way, block, Minotaur, and Rat Ogre. I had a troll, I threw guard on it. That it gives me a chance to not activate it or to activate it last, and it's still useful. Plus, it always has a buddy, so it's kind of cool when the buddy gets to be strength 4 effectively. Thrower with leader. It's cheaper than a reroll still. Got an orc with block. My Skaven, I went wrestle tackle. This one I was kind of split. I really wanted to go wrestle strip ball because it's just one of those notorious skill combinations on a fast player. If you see the ball carrier and you touch them, the ball is not in their hands anymore. But I had to be a little more generalist here. Dark Elf is Blodger, surprise, surprise. And I got Goblin, then Human Lineman with 2 bench just to round it out. I love to throw a little cheeky skill on the Goblin, diving tackle, sneaky get, something, but it wasn't working out on this one. But yeah, that's my gist. All right, let's get into this. We'll navigate the ever-friendly Blood Bowl 3 UI.
Oh, God.
And what time is it for you, Evie?
Oh, God. I don't know, about 5:30-ish in the afternoon.
That's 5:30 for the US folks. No, it's like, it's 9:30 in the morning for me, so It's not too bad. It's actually probably one of the better international like time zone things. I remember I was playing in that tournament that was based out of Spain and waking up at like 2 a.m. to get my matches in. Tried recording it, I just looked like a ghost.
Yeah, that seems miserable. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, that was part of the reason why I gave up on private leagues for a while, because I had a couple of times where I was like playing Blood Bowl at 4 in the morning or 2 in the morning, and it was just like I no.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. It's just no. I'm not doing that. I'm not sitting in a freezing attic and at 2 a.m. playing Blood Bowl. That's just miserable. I mean, wait. Let me see. Check how much. What's the difference? The difference is
90K.
90. Oh, that's such a shit number. If it was 100, I could just buy an FO and then just. That's it, and just don't use it.
Yeah. No. So the way Blood Bowl 3 works, it's still treating it kind of like what you would call a league match where we get inducements. Because the tournament packet, normally you just purchase your inducements as part of your roster. In this case, we're just throwing the extra gold into arguably one of the least useful inducements you can get. Oh, don't make me make decisions. We're both sort of the bash team. I am sort of the dash team. So I want to be able to defend with more people, so I'm going to kick. And I am going to play with my camera at an angle, which pisses off everybody, so.
Oh, God. Wait. So not portrait, not landscape, it's on an angle.
The reason I do it is because big guys exist and little guys exist, and there have been so many times that I do like a stupid dodge or something because I click through and there's like a little guy hiding behind like a troll.
This is why I put skill rings on. I put skill rings on, and half the time I put blue-red mode on, so I can't possibly make a mistake.
Yeah.
And then I go and misclick anyway, and it's irrelevant.
Yep, I feel that. Alright, so we're gonna go here. What else we got? I feel like the thrower is such a, non-player here. Because, I mean, it's my leader caddy. It's also basically just a lineman as far as practicality. Like, I know it has skills, but they're not really skills.
I'm so sad. I'm so sad that they made the Renegade Human Thrower just bad.
Yeah.
Because it has that super interesting skill of Safe Pair of Hands, and I really like Safe Pair of Hands. It doesn't. You don't have any other player with it, and you're never going to see anybody take it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand why there's no 2+ passing. It's a human thrower. It should have 2+ passing.
Right. All right. Oh, I didn't set it to unlimited time. Whatever. We'll just play it out. So, I know it's your turn now, but you want to chit-chat about your season? Anything noteworthy happen?
So far, my season's been quite interesting overall. Where's my thrower gone? My season's been interesting overall. So, the first thing I did was essentially, I was trying out the new doors, because that was just really they've always been an interesting team for me. They've always been an interesting team for me because I never really played them. That'll do. So I never really played them in Blood Bowl 2. So I was kind of excited to get my hands on them again. And then I played the new Norska Arena mode and was very sad that when because I didn't know how to build them or anything, so I just kind of threw them into this NAF style. And I just went, you know what, screw it, it's fine. It won't be. It won't fail me at all, will it? It failed me almost immediately.
Yeah, Norse games, I feel like in tournaments when I've played them, it's either or played against them, it's either a get tabled or table them. Like there's rarely an in between for how it plays out. I also just want to note that we got the touchback despite kicking to the sweet spot, so it's always nice. It's a good sign.
Yeah. Also, I'm going to be terrible at this because I keep realizing that like I am using PC for like the first time ever, and it's yeah.
I got the home field advantage, so. Well, this could be a good topic, actually. If you want to, just feel free anytime you have a difference, since you're normally an Xbox streamer, which, by the way, we'll throw the links in the description like we always do. Evie's on 24/7, has no life outside of Blood Bowl, so if you want some entertainment, you got that. But yeah, you feel free to rant about the differences between the UI or controls or whatever from Xbox to PC.
So far, I mean, outside of me just not having any clue how to use like a camera or anything,
Yeah.
So far it's fine-ish.
Yeah, WASD for moving the camera around and Q and E to rotate. And then scroll wheel will take you in and out.
Now, well, you see, I am like the professional I am. Because I'm using a laptop, I am...
Oh, right. You probably have to do some kind of voodoo with it to like make the scroll wheel be simulated or something.
Well, I'm using a touchpad.
Yeah.
Which is clearly fantastic.
My work laptop is like that.
No, we don't want to do that. We don't want to move back. Right, okie dokie, that'll do. Yeah, it's a lot easier for me on controller. I've always been a console gamer, like ever since I was little. Mm-hmm. I've been playing video games on controller since I was 3, and I'm nearly 30 now, so it's been a long time. I've never really done much PC gaming, so it's always been a bit of a question mark for me on just like trying to make it work.
Well, we didn't stoop it on the first roll, so that's always a good sign.
I give it a minute.
Right. I have blocks. I mean, I was also torn on throwing the big guys on the front. It's one of those things where if you get pushes, it's like, cool, I get blocks, but...
Yeah, and I was also a bit scared of that because I was like, my big ones don't exactly have blocks, so this is a bit risky. And then I realized that like I completely forgot that the troll had guard, and I was like, oh, this is a great start. So now I'm going to have to put more players in to get the same result, and it's going to end questionably, and then the ball's going to be in trouble. And well, it worked out for me, so that's at least good.
Right. Well, we'll see. I mean, a bout of ones can just end a Renegade's game, more or less. Let's throw a fun blitz. Gotta love the 3 dies. Until you don't love the 3 dies.
Yeah, I mean, the Minotaur cooperating for now.
Okay, I don't like the Gobbo, like, hanging out as vulnerable. Make you work for getting to him a little bit. Actually, we'll go ahead and buddy him up there. Make some little triangles. I'm sure there's some fancy name for whatever the triangles are, but...
I'll be honest with you, like, I have never learned proper Blood Bowl formations and all that nonsense. I kind of just watched high-level players and then been like, oh yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
One thing I like about block on the big frenzy guys is it gives you the option to not move. And that's kind of huge sometimes. Alright, so my tackle zones are all over the place. Squeeze you into the center if you really want to go that way, and we'll call this turn. One thing with Blood Bowl 3 that throws me off, there's been a lot of times with how the automatic setups it gives you when you're trying to set up on offense or defense, it'll throw people in the way back. I'll be so zoomed in that I just forget players exist. And I've played like 6 turns without realizing I was down a player the entire time.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel. I've done the exact same thing.
Yeah, I will say at first the the, I guess, action wheel, you'd call it, interface for Blood Bowl 3 felt weird for keyboard mouse. Like, I totally understand it for a controller. It makes sense, but...
I mean, it can feel weird for controller as well. So it's like, it's definitely not a...
intuitive.
Yeah, it's really weird because it makes me feel the it kind of makes me feel the same as it kind of makes me feel like there's a lot of games out there where it's like, oh yeah, like if you don't know what you're doing, you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Well, and there's a lot of little things in Blood Bowl. I honestly think the basic mechanics aren't that complicated. I know a lot of people are intimidated by it at first, and not everybody just like religiously memorize tabletop wargaming textbooks, but overall the basic mechanics aren't that bad. It's just all the, well, except like all that stuff is what starts to add up over time. And then initially memorizing team rosters, that kind of thing. There are people that I run into at tournaments, especially when I was running orcs. They'll be like, wait, this one's strength 4? Oh, wait, this one has block? And it's not everybody is strength 4 with block. Like, the big guys who are giant are the ones who are strength 4. Now, if we want to talk about skill bands, that's a whole other issue. People just... Wait, so what's this one? Blue is block. What's this one? Blue is block.
Yeah. I literally, like, when I went to Andy's tournament... because I didn't really have my own like skill rings or anything. I basically just bought some loom bands off Amazon, and I basically was like, okay, this wolf has block, and I put like 7 rings across it, and then they were just like, oh, okay, so the one with blue is block. I was like, yep. It's very, very obvious.
Yep.
So that was nice.
It's completely unrelated to Blood Bowl, but something that always bugged me with card games, because Magic does U as blue, because blue and black both exist. Any other card game, you'd see the Magic players trying to use U for blue, even if it wasn't practical for it. Or like one of the games I played, black was a secondary color. It was basically colorless or neutral or whatever. And yeah, I was just like, we don't have to do that here. They're like, well, it's standard. I'm like, just because it's in Magic doesn't mean it's standard. Other games exist.
No.
Hey, it's what we were going for. It was either you or me. But you can concede now if you want to. I pretty much have it. So
the normal ladder experience.
All right. What's the ratty boy doing? Why aren't you leaving me targets, man? It's unsportsmanlike. I think he's actually chilling. He probably shouldn't be that close. We'll try. What the hey? Humans like to get swatted, right? That's... I was going to try to foul that guy with the gobbo, but that's not going to happen. I feel like I don't need to roll more dice.
That's always a good decision. Like, if I don't need to roll more dice, then that's probably the good decision.
I've rambled about it 1 billion times, so anybody who's watched any of my other videos. But with Tomb Kings, my goal is to get to the point where I just pass turn, and you have to roll like either -2 dodges or take uphill blocks, and that's your only choice. Love me some Tomb Kings. I'm scared they're going to butcher them. They've done a good job for the most part revamping the old teams, but Chaos Dwarves, they're iffy.
I actually really like Chaos Dwarves, like as they are.
I don't think they needed the special weapons. It's just kind of odd. I understand the taking out the tackle and stuff. I was looking at it like I was going to use them for... I have a Chaos Dwarf team, but I only have enough players painted up for 7s. And I was just like, I'm not using any of the new positionals. And I know 7s is a different beast, but...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 7s is its own like weird thing, isn't it?
Where Skaven are 40% of the top 100 ranked NAF teams for 7s. It's fair and balanced.
Yeah, of course.
Well, even the people that I've interviewed that won Sevens tournament, they're like, I use Skaven. I'm an asshole. It's just like, okay.
I mean, I like Skaven, so I can't really complain.
Yeah. No, people should play what they want to. I don't think people...
Skaven, Lizardmen, like the teams that can just like walk from the middle to the end and without actually having to do anything is always a bit questionable, isn't it?
Well, when you shrink the board and you don't shrink the movement, then guess what? You just gained more movement.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, though, right? Like, imagine if you shrink the movement, you have to shrink the movement everywhere. Right. You've got, like, what, movement 2 dwarves?
I don't see a problem. Just make them treemen.
I mean, that's the one thing about dwarves is, like, they're not good. They're very, very, they're, like, they're top 10, but they're just upper middle. And they always perform very averagely or bad in like nearly every tabletop tournament.
Yeah.
Because they just get tiered low for 2 reasons. People don't like playing against them because they're boring. And then also, if you tier them slightly too low and they get a secondary skill, the Death Roller appears.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like, oh, okie doke. Unless you put like a specific rule in that if you've got a dirty player, you can't take a sneaky git, and then the Death Roller probably still appears. It's just got block instead. And then people don't want to play against that either.
I'm going to break the rules and have my Armor 9 big guy go and isolate himself here. Because I'm glad you didn't take Frenzy. Interesting.
Yes, I've decided that I didn't want to stand firm there.
Right. It's kind of baiting you. It's only a 4+ dodge. Yeah.
Only a 4+ dodge.
Throw a buddy here, at least make you commit some resources. Awkward zones, and I think... because I'm not just going to give you the Minotaur straight up. We'll see. People talk crap about Unchanneled Fury, but you know what? I keep my zones, damn it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only good thing, is that it doesn't lose tackle zones. Yeah. But that's, like, the only good thing.
I feel like with the Rat Ogre, like, it depends on context, but obviously Renegades are an expensive team in comparison to what you get. So swatting one of your dudes on Renegades feels way worse than swatting a Line Rat.
Yeah.
So there's sometimes I consider that. We'll see if my horrible strategy works out here.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm going to get myself in trouble here. Like, I want to surf it.
I mean, that's kind of what we're going for. My first tournament that I went to when I started playing the game again after being off for a decade, I didn't realize bonus points were a thing, so I was just, like, sacrificing dudes to try to steal the ball to win. And then I, like, came out of my first match, like, -6 points. I'm like, oh, this kind of matters. Overall, with since you mostly do like ladder league play, which is its own beast, how are you feeling about the Eurobowl packet?
It's interesting.
Yeah,
that's about all I've got for it. Like I've read through it a few times, and it's just like it feels awkward. Mm-hmm. And it kind of cuts out some teams.
Yeah, I think Amazons and Dark Elves are the ones that people were talking about, mainly Amazons.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen like a lot of like Amazons are obviously just good.
Mm-hmm.
And then also you've got like Undead, which are also incredible. it feels awkward to like, because like when I was building my team for this, when I was originally doing it on Xbox, where I've got like all the Blood Bowl 3 teams, there's 20 teams, and the first thing I was like, oh, you know what, I'll make a Blackhawk team, and then I was like, doesn't quite work. And then I was like, well, I've been enjoying Norse, I'll try to sort a Norse team out, and I was like, that also doesn't really work. And I was just like, ah, God. And then I was like, right, okay, fine, I give up. I'll play one of the good teams that I know is definitely like just really good in the rule set.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I always try to test the lower end on tournament packets. I love getting a billion skills because it lets you customize, but that isn't always optimal.
No, I mean, I think the lower end teams, some of them are probably going to be pretty good, especially if you can like squeeze a star in or something.
Yeah. Well, a skilled coach can pilot something that's less optimal and still just rock your world. It's kind of what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta remember you're not gonna be like disappearing down the field, so I can afford to clump up a little bit, I feel like.
You never know, my orcs might run a little bit.
Probably not worth it.
Goblin foul.
It would have been nice. We're dreaming. There, and then...
I might be a bit stuck.
We'll see. Still worth it.
Yeah, you needed to do that, otherwise I was going to surf both of those.
Oh, totally. Well, I got you to commit to one side for a turn, which is kind of the goal.
And up, please, thank you.
But now you have an open left lane, which is beautiful.
Right, what? Okay.
Guard on that orc would feel a lot better right now. Let me just swap my skills real quick.
My mighty blow is not doing what I want it to do.
Mighty blow is a fake skill.
Apparently so. Okie dokie. I think that's got to have to stay there, isn't it? Things are getting awkward for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really hoping for a stun on your guard piece. Would have made it a little bit easier.
That's not what I want to see.
Okay. We don't mind those.
Alright, well that's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it out. I'm trying to make it out to Eurobowl this year.
Where is it? Where is it this year?
Budapest, Hungary. Okay, like I will fully confess to knowing American geography-ish and not understanding the difference. So those are both the words I'm going to say, and I'm going to say them confidently.
That's very clear. I don't really know either. Like I know of like Budapest, Hungary, because it's on the F1 calendar. That's about all I know.
When I was a kid, I flew through them at one point. But that was a very long time ago. Alright, what can I do that is less awful? So I think I need to dodge the gobbo out. I need to get some support for my big dude. I think I do this first. Should be fun.
I was kind of hoping that would have stood firm and just not crumbled instead. But okay, that's fine. I guess I'm going to have to deal with a rat ogre now.
Yeah. Well, you have a chance to do the orkiest thing ever with your ball carrier, so.
Oh.
All right, Minotaur, please. Hey, what's up? Unchanneled Fury OP.
Oh, the big guys are doing my head in.
Okay. Do we rush here? Yes. Because why the heck would we not?
How much Blood Bowl 3 have you played this season?
Barely. Like, a couple practice games for this. Like, I've been doing, since I've kind of diversified my coverage and I've been doing the VPET stuff, it eats up a lot more time. I haven't touched a paintbrush in ages. I've got a project I was going to do for somebody that's coming up, so that's a thing. I don't even get to play that much tabletop, honestly. It's just hard to find an immediate scene here.
Yeah, that's fair.
Look at me rolling dice like a champion.
I know, right? Not had to use a single reroll yet. I mean, I've only had to use one, but
Hell yeah, we 2 in.
No, I've lost 2 players. What is this?
It's what I call paper thin, armor 10.
Yeah, I mean, the first game of the ladder that I played this season, I was playing Norse versus Orcs, and I cast 3 big uns, and they didn't even KO anything. So I was just like, oh, okay, I mean, I guess I'll take that.
Dude, I'm not going to say it's a reason I stopped playing Orcs, but one of the things I didn't miss was my Blitzers and big uns getting KO'd by uphill halfling blocks. It just happened. It happened so many times, and I'm like, why? Like, often blitzes, too. Like, I'm sitting there trying to play them like elves and screen a little bit, and one just rushes me out of nowhere, blitzes, and then it goes down. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It can be questionable. I'm also going to be doing questionable things now, so... We'll see how this goes.
Okay. Sneaky. I will admit to not seeing that line. Okay. You can do more of those if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to burn a reroll on that, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
oof. Yeah, it happens. And that's my fault, too.
Okie dokie. Right,
I was really hoping to turn you over and steal the ball in the first half. Even if I don't score, it would be nice to have you fighting for it in the second one.
I mean, I'm still not out of the woods yet.
Yeah. Sacrifices must be made. There's also something to be said for... What's the word for it? I guess mandating your opponent's blitz. When you give them such a juicy thing that the other stuff is going to be safe. Like, ideally, I don't want my Dark Elf and Skaven hanging out up front, but I know you're not going to blitz them this turn. Or if you really want to, then that means you're dealing with Prehensile Tail. I was kind of wanting you to throw the block with the ball carrier. Like a true greenskin.
Yeah.
How are you adapting to the controls so far? It seems like you picked up pretty quick.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's definitely not the worst thing in the world. If I could stop rolling skulls, that would be nice.
Making single die blocks.
I know, but I mean, that one was with block at least. Like, even a push would have been fine. Okay. Now that might put me in some danger, but we'll figure that out later.
Yeah. Well, you got a few turns still, or a couple turns, I guess. We're getting there.
Yeah. I might get stuck. I have a feeling I might get stuck, but I went for the surf. It was too juicy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And yeah.
That was the plan, honestly.
I did like it, to be honest, if I would have surfed it the turn before instead of rolling a POW,
right.
you know, complaining about POWs, look at that. But yeah, if I would have surfed it that turn, I would have been fine. Because I had to spend an extra turn and extra dice, it's definitely bit me, but there's not really much else I could have done anyway.
Okay, I'm having to turn the skills off just so I can see things. I
normally just have the learned ones on.
I want to do a 3-die uphill so bad. I don't want to block with the troll. Here. I'm gonna do that. Yeah. I think we got a plan, sort of. As much of a plan as I can have.
That's a plan.
Two. Put this in there. And you have guard pieces, yes? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about putting my ball carrier on the sideline, but I felt like that would also like probably get me surfed.
Yeah. I think we're going for the 1-die on the ball carrier. I would love to do something a little more stable, but
I think it's more than 1 die.
Oh, it's 2. Yeah, because of horns. Yay.
Yeah.
Because Minotaur's OP.
Yeah.
We got the opportunity for some lulls here. We'll take it. We'll take the conservative option.
At least I got a good scatter, so that's not horrible.
Yeah.
That's definitely not horrible. I'll take that.
We'll take the no turnover option. Oh. Normally I'm not going to reroll loner, but in the case of it's getting this close to the end of the half, I'll just vomit all over myself. It's fine. Now, am I an idiot and do I dodge with the Skaven? I don't think I do. I don't know.
I think like if you didn't re-roll the loner, I probably would have maybe re-rolled the dodge on the Skaven.
We're gonna do it. It's worked out so far. Okay. Well, I still got 2. I'm fine. And my leader one's already spent, so I'm not too worried about you messing that up. A Minotaur, though, is gonna have some love this turn. That was probably bad.
I think it was the only option, realistically.
It was the juiciest option for sure. I didn't even realize it was a 2-die. I was ready to go in on a 1-die. I haven't used a Minotaur in forever.
I don't think not many people use the Mino very much, do they?
Yeah, it's like I love Minotaurs for like flavor purposes. I have, just as a random example, I have 2 Magic Commander decks left, and one of them is Minotaur Tribal. But if I can play as a Minotaur in a game, I tend towards it. I'll scream my battle cry of moo and rush into battle. Something I don't get on Minotaurs, though, right? From like a flavor perspective. I get like in the old school lore, you were looking at, oh, it's some crazy mutated person or something, right? Turned into a monster. But you mix a human and a cow, and cows are like chilling, eating grass and stuff. But you mix a human and a cow, wouldn't it make it like 3/4 vegetarian instead of like wanting human flesh? Like, how does it become more carnivorous when you mix it with an herbivore?
Oh, okay, so now you're getting into territory of I have no clue.
What's the thing? Like, a lot of times Minotaurs eat flesh, like they crave it, and it's the whole insatiable hunger, like, makes them crazy thing. I don't know. From a lore perspective, it seems like they would want to eat more veggies.
Oh, it's gambling time.
Should have saved more rerolls, jeez.
Yeah, I know, right? I could have just, succeeded a bit more. That would have also been nice.
Okay. Just have to BS my way through one more turn. Oof. You will be avenged. See, I got injuries and you got KOs, so that could cause some issues. I'm still gonna have a full board at least. It's hard to complain about that. My troll is tied up, unfortunately.
Yeah, the only upside I have is that I have stand firm. Like, the stand firm is actually putting in some work.
Yeah, definitely. I could do that. I can risk it and call him up. It's an option. Yeah, I'm so rusty. I just have not gotten to play a lot lately.
Yeah, I mean, the past 3 months for me have been absolutely all over the show. Like, I had a surgery at the start of October, and that was supposed to take me out for 2 weeks. Then it didn't go well, so it took me out for like 4 to 5 weeks, which was a nightmare. And then, like, the sun decided it wanted to disappear, so now I'm in. And then, like, whenever it gets to this time of the year, I always get a little bit lower on the mental. But yeah, it is what it is. I've been told that I need to go and buy myself a sun lamp, and I'm probably gonna do that at some point. Probably not for this year. I'll get one for next year and see if it makes a difference. I've heard it's pretty good. If you get like some like seasonal depression stuff, especially around the winter time. So
that was something I ran into in Oregon because it was so gloomy all the time. Okay, so how do I hit you? You made it where I can't hit you, and that's not fair.
Who knew strength 4 and guard would be good?
Yeah, the stand firm is helping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that... Oh, 5 plus dodge, wait. I'm screwing that up. Oh, no, I'm not screwing it up. This is fine. It's totally fine. Nothing's on fire. That was supposed to be a blitz. Okay, I'm cool.
Crap.
Yeah, yay. Alright then. I was gonna try to blitz that guy off, get the troll, do one rush, and end him touching your guard dude in there. What am I looking at? Like a 5 plus?
The thing is that, like, you get the troll in there, but then what?
He has guard. He stands next to your stand firm and your guard piece there. Then the rat throws a block. That was my plan. That's as far as I had.
Yeah, it's like 1 dice with wrestle, which I guess is okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
Oh man, like, the arena's been so good in like Blood Bowl 3. Like for tabletop players, and for like NAF style people, it's really it's been very, very good for them. I had a bad experience because I tried to play Norse, and then it went very wrong very quickly as I decided I'm going to take all the positionals, not knowing really what any of it did. Just put guard everywhere, and it just didn't work. I don't like the berserkers at all. I don't know what it is about the berserkers, but I do not like them. They've got block jump up to start with.
It's the Valkyries that scare me. The Valkyries, I've seen some shenanigans, my dude.
The Valkyries are fantastic.
You forget they have like 14 skills.
Yeah, that literally happened to me the other day, where I was like based up by chaos and was like, yeah, I'm basically screwed. I have to just do like a random 1 dice, and then I was like, oh my god, I've got Dauntless. And it absolutely saved me, and I was just like, wow, I can't believe that. If I didn't have Dauntless there, it was 1 dice. And then if the 1 dice failed, I would have had to do like a 4-3 dodge, and it would have just been a nightmare. And Dauntless just completely saved it.
Yeah. No, Dauntless is clutch. It's one of those things that you can throw on random stuff. I think in a league for Renegades, I had a Dauntless Horns Goblin. It was just like kind of unnecessary.
Well, that's kind of interesting.
I was rolling some randoms, and then I saw the synergy, and I was like, hey, why not?
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, the difference there would have been if I had gotten my blitz, if I had remembered to click things correctly. There's no guarantees at all, but I would have had that 1 die block to try to get one more guy in the ball carrier. But I think you still had...
I had a lot of free players.
Yeah, you had a lot of options.
I'm just thinking now. Oh, I was going to cover for the throwing of the goblin, and I realized I 1 diced it and killed it.
Yeah. No, Renegades are the worst throw teammate team. Like, straight up. 70k rerolls. You get one of your dudes. That's one of the things I would change on the roster. I'm not really big on the, oh, well, they would just do this to this team, you know, kind of guys. But give me O to 4 or O to 2 goblins. I don't think it would break anything, and it would at least add a dimension to it.
Yeah, like, I think that would be fine. It's always hilarious. As like, I do love the conversations of this is what I would do to this team, because some of it is hilarious. Like some of it's very clearly like satire. Because I had someone in the Blood Bowl 3 Discord saying like, oh yeah, this is what I would do to dwarves, and they just took all of their primary access away and made them more expensive. I was like, oh okay. So
you know,
like dwarves then.
For the hypothetical throw teammate, like, this would have been the play.
This would have been perfect.
I was just assuming it was impossible, which you should never do. Okay.
Well, I mean, now it's a 2-turn drive.
Oh, it is 2 turns. I thought I was on turn 8. What am I doing? See, I
Yeah,
baited you into scoring is what happened there.
You got a timeout. So it's giving you an extra turn.
Oh, okay. I didn't even see. I was too busy thinking of other things and checking meters. Okay. Cool. Alright.
I had a really good idea, I guess, for dwarves getting reworked. It was beautiful. And then, like, some people liked it and some people hated it. And I was like, well, I mean, that's just classic, isn't it?
Yeah. It's what it is. I'm so glad that is a human lineman.
I wanted to give dwarves another positional. I wanted to give them a dwarven rogue that has the same stat line as a dwarf runner, except instead of having the ball carrying stats, well, not the ball carrying stats, but the like the sure hands and stuff, I wanted it to start with sidestep and grab, because that combination on a player, or even a star player, has never existed.
Okay.
And I think that having a player with grab and sidestep just built in, and then pairing that with some troll slayers, I just believe is going to be absolute shenanigans, and it would just be beautiful.
Yeah. I'm all down for weird combinations. We take it. What? Okay. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Well,
that is extremely lucky.
Nuffle is getting some revenge for balancing things out for your skulls earlier. Well, normally I vomit. Even if it's armor 10, I like to vomit just to avoid the turnover. Even if I self-remove.
Oh, was that a vomit?
No, that was a block.
Oh no, that was a 3D.
Yeah. was gross though.
Yeah, that was true.
So it's also a curse. Like anytime you choose the both down, it's just it makes it worse somehow.
I've got to somehow stop you from getting through, because I know that you're going to definitely try.
Yeah, and I'm gonna fail, and when I fail, I'm gonna self-remove, and I'm gonna injure, and yeah. It's the rules.
My mighty blow has been the definition of pathetic.
Yep. I mean, there's a lot of times it just doesn't do anything.
Pretty much every time it's not done anything. Well, actually, no, it hasn't done anything this game.
You just want to see the tripwire happen. That's what you're here for.
Oh, well, I got away with all of that, didn't I?
Yeah, that was good.
I was thinking, like, just like, if I've got the reroll, I might as well spend it, and if I can get these 2 dodges, that just kind of boxes everything, and then it's like, all right, yeah, good luck with it.
Right. Well, that's kind of what it's in Nuffle's hands now, straight up. Okay, so I do that. Do I have any obvious actual good play that isn't a meme here? I don't think I do. Not that I can see. Okay. We memeing it up. Step 1. I need to not have to spend a reroll here.
Oh, God.
Okay. Step 2. Here's hoping. Just need a dodge. I've been dodging all game, right? Push. Take a pow.
Yeah, well, it's a pow. I'll do.
Did I calculate this? No, I did not. 2, 3. I have to go forward. Okay, I'm gonna have to just do some shenanigans here.
Oh, God.
All right,
Yeah,
here goes.
if you get this, I'm going to be sad.
Wait, that's not enough. Oh, I have to do more. Oh, wow. I totally counted a square short.
There's a 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Oh my word, that was far too close.
I still had 2 more rolls after that, so it's what it is.
The only thing else I saw was the 6+ jump.
Right. Oh, I was trying to. I looked at that. I did the jump in my head, and then I realized I had to spin a vertical square on it that I hadn't calculated. Okay. So, first half, that was a half. The timeout was a nice chance. Some false hope.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Still think anything that affects the number of turns or actions is probably like the most broken kickoff results.
I think a lot of the kickoff results these days they're a bit more chill, aren't they?
Oh, totally. In comparison, it's ridiculous. That's why I didn't actually take tournaments that seriously with the older kickoff table.
Because it was a wild time. Just like, oh yeah, like, I mean, it can still kind of happen now. You can still get like a random player sent off or whatever, but like sometimes it would just be like, oh well, that player's dead, or just I don't know. I think they went a bit too far, because obviously people had their misgivings about the old kickoff table, which is totally fine. But I do think that they might have gone just a touch too far. I've realized I've messed up my setup, but we'll ignore that.
Right. I'm looking at mine and I'm like, wait, what am I doing?
Yeah, like, I mean, obviously, like, sometimes it was quite harsh in the older rules, especially like the Blood Bowl 2 rules. But I think when it came down to like making there's another timeout. I think they made the kickoff table a bit too friendly. Mainly the blitz kickoff. I'm sad that they gutted the blitz kickoff.
It's still really powerful though.
I mean, it can be, but because you can't use any skills or anything, it makes it just... And it not only is you can't use skills, barring the odd random one, like pro for some reason, you also can't use rerolls, which is fine. It's also a D3 plus 3, so sometimes you get like 4 players, and then it's like, oh, well, if I go forwards, I get punched to death, and it's actually bait. And it's kind of the same with the solid defense. Like, because you can't move what's already on the line, and it's a D3 plus 3, oftentimes it's like, do I really want to put my players in a position where I just get hit more on the line of scrimmage?
6.
It just feels like bait a lot of the time.
Yeah. The one that I think is underwhelming is the perfect defense. Because it, like, most of the time, I already know what I want to do.
Yeah.
Buddy. Battle plan. Sure.
I'm really glad that there's no Roger anymore.
Yeah.
That's helping me out a lot already. That's the one thing with Renegades. Like, they kind of just live and die by their big dudes.
Absolutely. It's the thing that makes them special. And a lot of people forget about the animosity. Like, I don't think animosity is a huge deal most of the time. I totally should have followed there. I thought that wrong. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, animosity is its own thing, isn't it?
I think I've had it backfire on me 4 times ever. Like, ever.
Yeah. It's like, it's not important until it is.
But it's the combination of the animosity and people... Every time I play Renegades, like on tabletop, the opponent's like, oh, you got a gutter runner, right? I'm like, nope, it's a line rat. And then they're like, oh, the orc has, block, right? I'm like, no, it's an orc. Like, it's a lineman. Like, you are just overestimating how useful any of my players are. This could go bad.
Oh, look,
it's everything.
Blow did a thing. Finally.
Take a stun. Now I'm going to need you to foul me and get thrown out.
Well, you see.
On the topic of kickoff results, the worst that has happened in the old rule set, I had started in a league, fresh orc team, turn 0, my orc thrower dies. And I was just like, okay. And I had paid like $30 to enter the league. I'm just like, this sucks. So that was really annoying.
That is kind of poor.
For the newer edition, I was running my list trying to get the most fouls for a tournament, and I had a player get thrown out on a bribe, and then immediately after the officious ref was rolled, and then I lost, or my player that was set up for the throw teammate got thrown out. So it's like, in between turns, I lost 2 players permanently.
Oh no, that is horrible.
It's extreme examples, but
yeah, I mean, I've had the same thing. Like, I actually had someone questioning the RNG in one of my streams because in 3 back-to-back games, the first kickoff result sent off one of my players.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, So I guess I'm having a miserable day today. Like 3 back-to-back games. It's like, yep, that's sent off. It's just like, well, can you not? Like, even if it's not a good player, it's annoying. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, I've been super happy this season. I'll be honest, I didn't think I was going to enjoy Norse as much as I am doing. They're such a good team. I love them so much. I am not even remotely going to attempt to get them into high team value because they're never going to make it there.
Yeah, the armor's kind of rough. I do need to do more league play, but I don't know. It's every time I try to do it, I remember why I don't do it, and I know
why don't you do it? That's the most important question, I think.
Okay, so I've had my rants. If we're talking tabletop league, coordinating with opponents is miserable. I always take it more seriously than they do. I'll just give you a nice block there to follow up into me. Set the screen. But yeah, coordinating with opponents. I like to. I mean, I came from competitive card games. I like to just have all my stuff. I like brewing. Like, for anyone who doesn't know what that term means, it means like exploring your options, creating lists, creating decks, that kind of thing. I'm very big and a big jank player, and jank is just a general term for stuff that isn't meta. Basically anything that's kind of wacky. I like to do gimmicks, to see if they work. Like, to this day, my most competitive team has been MasterChef Tomb Kings. It's ridiculous. It just put up tons of results for me. And yeah, with League, you can't really do that. You can't really take... Like, you have to play well to build up skills. And it takes so long to kind of get different things, and you have to commit that it's really hard not to choose the best skill at, when it's taken you 3 games to get enough SPP to be able to level the guy up or whatever.
Yeah,
but
I know the feeling.
What I enjoy most about the game is experimenting. It's getting to do this different stuff. And then with tournament packets, it gives you even more tools to be able to try out weird stuff. So that's kind of my basic takeaway. But yeah, coordinating with people for games. I prefer leagues that do a league night, and if you show up, it's a thing. I'll probably do a local one. I know a lot of people love leagues too, so I don't want to talk crap about what they're into. Like, it's totally fine. People should play Blood Bowl how they want to play Blood Bowl, and then they should argue about it online. But
and then they should argue about it online. I mean, that happens regardless.
Right. I just want to appreciate the fact that before I started recording here, I was having internet trouble. I live near some mountains. We only have one provider choice. It's like the moment I try to stream or do whatever I'm doing, upload a video, it just cuts down. It's bad, especially whenever there's weather of any kind that isn't sunny. So I'm running this off my phone hotspot right now, and it is doing infinitely better, which I think is silly.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Like, you were able to get out a few words, it cuts out. A few more words, it cuts out. It was miserable. And then you go to a hotspot, and it's like, yeah, that's all fixed.
Yep.
It's all fine. Works absolutely perfectly. No problems. 0 notes needed.
Well, my husband and I we were really, really big into Smite. And we played on PS4.
Oh, I love Smite.
Oh, nice. We might have to possibly investigate that. But I haven't played for a minute. But
I've not played for, I don't even know, like 4 years or something, and I was like semi-professional at it. So.
Oh, okay. My cousin was insane at it. It was ridiculous. But we used to play with 2 PS4s and streaming music off of our hotspot. Because it was better than whatever apartment we were renting, like the person's internet. Okay, let's make some things happen here. I cannot get an assist on your dude, and I want an assist on your dude. I demand you reposition. We're just gonna pretend I'm gonna get a knockdown here. Like, if my turn ends here, it's my turn ends here. Am I this bad? It's like the half. Nope, I'm that bad.
Oh,
beautiful.
Succeeded on the loner, then rolls another one.
Yeah, that's great.
That's classic, isn't it?
Well, I mean, you rolled skulls. It's what it is. We can trade. As long as it's not only happening to one player.
I think this is the first match we've actually played.
Oh yeah. I think we talked about it before.
Yeah, we talked about it in the Goblin and Halfling season. It just didn't come to be.
I'm gonna choose it and watch what happens. No? Okay.
Oh, well, nothing died, so that's reasonable.
Yeah, it's my KO rolls, and anytime I choose a both down. Like, I do not make KO rolls. It's just a roll. But all of my KO roll luck goes to regen. I have a ridiculous regen history.
Oh, I hate regen. I hate it so much. With the table being as crap as it is, it causes problems, and this is also causing me problems now. Okay. I keep forgetting that the troll has guard. I need to keep remembering that the troll has guard.
Well, Tomb Kings, my big guys, in exhibition effectively don't have a nega trait. So, because I always activate, and then I can regen out of, I don't care what bad things happened to them. If they get Kaz, they get Kaz'd. But getting a saving throw for my key players, it's huge. I would take Tomb Kings over Renegades if I was trying to play for reals.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
This is more of a test too. I just want to try out different stuff in the packet. I mean, ideally, if I'm gonna try to, go to Europe for a big tournament, I want to have piloted every team in the rule set a couple times, give you an idea.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Well, because I had to burn a reroll there, that kind of ruins my plans. That ruined my plan a lot.
Ruined. If your dudes could just not be strength 4, that would be fantastic.
I know, imagine, right? Because I was going to go for the spicy jump play.
Yeah.
And then go for 1 dice on the ball for funsies, and then that reroll management decided, no, that's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
God, what else am I doing this turn?
The stun on the troll is really hurting me right now.
Yeah, I imagine. That's not exactly a good thing. Let's gotta go there. Yeah, I think that's about it.
I had a plan in the back of my mind. Ideally, I don't need to be all clumped up by you. Ideally, I should go forward at some point. That's one of the things I get some anxiety sometimes about trying to get down the field earlier than I need to. Because you only need to score when you need to score, so.
Yeah. I mean, it gets I've had it in when I'm on stream, especially in the ladder, especially if you're playing a more squishy team, you get to that point where you're like, oh, right, okay, I've lost 3 to 4 players. I have 0 options now. I have to just go forwards and I have to go and score. And then that's it. And you just kind of hit the critical mass of, if I don't go now, then I'm going to get surrounded and beat to death for the rest of this match.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of, if you don't have to go forwards, I try not to. I think that's probably the one thing I see from lesser experienced players, is that they like to go forward a bit too soon sometimes.
What's the unga bunga? Like, do you feel like you have to do everything all at once?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Hopefully I succeed enough of these things where I can try to salvage some of my defense.
Yeah, that troll stun and the Minotaur deciding to not play the game is causing you lots of problems.
Well, to be fair, I had good luck in the first half on that kind of thing, so... We doing it. We doing it. We doing it. Now everything's just going to go perfectly from here.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally how that works.
Yep. Well, it's not going completely horribly at the moment.
You spaced out. Yeah, you spaced out better than a lot of people do. This is kind of my desperation play. I have, not naming names, but some of the top US players I have done this against, and they're like, why are you doing this? Why are you rolling dice like that?
Well, I think what we were talking about a second ago you got to the critical mass, and it wasn't really through removals, it was from things lying on the ground.
There's removals too. I didn't have to let you surf my rat ogre like that.
Yeah.
It's avoidable.
I mean, you started this half with full team, but like because you had both big guys on the floor, one of them was stunned, one of them not cooperating, and a couple of others on the floor, it started that like, oh, I can't actually keep the ball safe now.
Well, that's why they gave me 70 SPP, so to try to offset some of that. We'll see though. We still got some Blood Bowl to play.
Yeah, I'm not really happy about this that much because I'm not out of position, but I'm not in a position where I can easily punch you.
Well, most orc players that I played against, like even skilled ones, will go and take half of a flank. And that's usually my sign that I can do the switcheroo. I was going to do it to the Skaven, but the Skaven was stuck based up. But the Skaven's obviously the better choice for this kind of thing. Let's see, dude. The blitz there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's take a rush at least. And so far, at least, I don't regret having used the rerolls I did. Like, I needed to make a turn happen.
Yeah, I think the same. You needed to make something happen, or it was not going to go well for you. So I think that's more than reasonable.
I don't think my Mighty Blow has done anything all game either. I know I got some KOs, but
no, your Mighty Blow's been effectively useless as well.
Yeah, well,
mine's starting to finally do something now, which is nice.
You had your guards spaced out really well to where I couldn't just go crazy with the Minotaur. So there was a lot of times when, ideally, the strength of my team is to throw powerful blocks. I just wasn't able to do that.
Yeah. I'm still worried. Which is not the good thing to be. And I went and put a player in my own path because I'm an idiot.
I think missing the blitz that I had earlier too possibly could have mattered. Let's see it. Damn. We tried. We tried, boys.
I mean, it's not over yet, but
you're right. Not looking great necessarily.
It's not. No, it's not looking great.
I would not describe my play as super optimal here either. But it's one of the fun things with like Renegades is you just kind of go with the flow.
Yeah, the main thing I was worried about at first was if I don't knock this bugger over,
right?
And if I fail a rush or double one it or do something stupid, you
would just still outnumbered me.
Yeah, but like you would have ran back, you would have given it to the Dark Elf, and you would have like had your big guys maybe do something, and then all of a sudden like you're pressing into what little players I would have had on the left. So I decided to leave some guard over there.
Oh yeah, no, I was totally gonna just flip it right back over, which again shows discipline because it's what I do. Oh wow. Okay. Cool. We're going to.
Yeah, I definitely. I know that some orc players would definitely just like overcommit really hard. Like, oh no, they're trying to run down the side, and then they just get flip flopped, and it's like, oh right, oh crap.
Right.
Now I'm stoked.
Now we're at the point of in Blodge we trust. I think that was a rush to get there. Yeah, it was. That sucks. Okay, not the end. Try not to get punched. What are you gonna do? That's fine.
Oh, that one's it's really weird, isn't it? You ask them to roll a 2+, they don't want to do it. You ask them to roll a 4+, they're like, I'll do that. That's fine.
Absolutely. Well, I've been playing a lot of that Pokemon game. I don't know if you're familiar with the Pokemon Pocket app that came out, but it's basically like Yu-Gi-Oh! Had Duel Links, where it's the smaller field with only a few zones and smaller decks or whatever. Pokemon Pocket is the same thing. You have 3 points instead of 6 prizes. Like it's meant to what I call a lunch break game.
Ah, okay. I mean, it sounds all right.
There's a lot of coin flips or coin flip cards. You don't have to use them, but I'm way less anxious about 50-50s. Like, I feel like that's one of those things. A lot of people, I've noticed card gamers get mad at dice RNG, and dice gamers get mad at card RNG, and then both will be like, oh, there's no skill involved. You know, you just either have to roll the right number, you either just have to draw the right card, and it's there's definitely a bit more that goes into it, some subtlety.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, it's all just stupid at the end of the day, isn't it? Like, everyone complains about random RNG or whatever they want to complain about on any given day.
Mm-hmm. All right. I have a play here that is not a good play, but it's a play. It's turning into a little bit of a bash fest on me, though.
I mean, that's just orcs in a nutshell, isn't it? I'm just going to stand there with all my guard and my strength and just punch whatever's in front of me.
Well, I'd be doing the same thing if I was up on players too, so... I mean, I wouldn't have, like, human linemen just sitting on your block dudes, but... it would be there in spirit.
Yeah, I really wanted to go after the Dark Elf there, and I even had tackle as well, and the game was just, nope. You rolling pushes. Because I think if I knock down that elf, I probably am fine.
Hey, he's back.
See, I told you just got to tell him to roll 4.
He's turning the tide. Single-handedly somehow. Okay. So that's that. This is so dumb. Okay. Gonna pull another one out of the No Bribe playbook here. Things that have actually worked for me that never should have. Alright, I have to do this first. Come on, crowd. Nope.
Right. Okay. Well, I think this is over now.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not. I can't take down that. Good start.
Hey, Blodge.
No. Now we're done, I think. Wait a minute. Is the Minotaur in scoring range? No, it's not. Okay. I always have to check that because sometimes it is.
Well, that was kind of the Minotaur was the countercharge to ideally if I could get somebody freed up.
Yeah. I don't need to really do anything else there. Got enough players on it. There's no like scoring for it or anything. I should be, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Beautiful. All right.
Great way to end the game.
Absolutely.
What's been your opinions on like the Norse release? Do you think it was like a good team to release for like the winter time?
I think so. I kind of wish we saw them paired with the Amazons. I think I got a bit spoiled to seeing two teams at once, but
oh yeah, definitely. Like there was a lot of people being like, oh, they're gonna release two teams, and I was just like, no. It's it's really not like gonna happen whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like right. It was understandable. Like, you know, people wanted it for stunties, and it was really nice of like Cyanide and Nacon to actually do a double release for stunties, because I imagine it probably wasn't planned to be a double release at first.
Mm-hmm. Nope. All right. Well, GG's, sir.
Yeah, we'll play it.
It wasn't.
It was definitely it was a scary first half.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really trying to stop you from scoring in the first half. Towards the end, I should have just probably from 3 turns away from the end, I probably should have just gone for some conventional screening or something. But I don't know. I felt like my removal count was a little behind for what I wanted.
Yeah, I think
the guard really hurts the frenzy big guys, because I even then I isolated some. You try to keep them together, but like it just really limits my options.
Looking at the stats on the end game screen, I did get more blocks, but like you ended up with 3 casualties, and there was 8 stuns, whereas I got 2 of my players KO'd.
Yeah.
And I think there was like 2 stuns. I'm not sure if sustained injuries counts stuns. It says injuries, but we don't talk about it's definitely not injuries, because injuries and casualties are different. But like, I don't know if because otherwise, like, did any of my stuff get stunned in that match?
I'm
guessing I must have had like 2 stuns. But yeah, like your big guys weren't quite firing enough in the first half, and then in the second half they just really let you down. And then once they let you down, I was just more strength, more guard, and it wasn't really. It just got dicey very quickly.
Well, it's the joys of Renegades too. But you did a really good job with staying disciplined about keeping your dudes wide in the second half. Because like I said, I've had a lot of people that just overcommit to one flank. And then I'm able to take advantage of it. But I can't say I was expecting a ton from... If I was going for consistency, I probably wouldn't be playing Renegades. But I'm glad I got a little bit of a test match in here for that.
Yeah, I mean, you can see what it what they kind of struggle against.
Yeah. Well, if nothing else, it's also good practice to be down and be behind and kind of get used to it, be playing in the red zone, because it's a Blood Bowl. You never know. My Hail Mary at the very end there, it's just like maybe the crowd throws it deep. That is a thing that it can happen.
There's a
but,
chance.
Yeah. But
yeah.
Yeah, that's what that was. Let's see. I don't know if I had any topics left here.
Yeah, I don't mind staying for a bit more. We can chat about if you've got any topics left or anything in general. I'm more than happy just to kind of chill out and have a bit of a bit of chat.
And this concludes part 1. There's a lot more in part 2. It's not necessarily on any Blood Bowl related topic. I'm not going to put it in the turnover playlist, but I'll include the link in the description if you want to listen to that as well. One thing that Evie forgot to mention was to keep on watching.
Turnover!